we ready now? Hello?
Hey, Mark, can you hear me now? Yes, okay. Somebody had the whole thing turned off earlier, and it was probably just the wrong microphone was selected. We're all set. It's all the things you have to deal with in yoga these days. Okay, Saturday is Eggs and Kegs. I'm sure many of you have heard about it. This is the t-shirt you get for $35, breakfast and beer at Springhouse Brewery. It's from 10 until 2. Your $35 makes sure that one more AIM class happens in the world. We also have these little shamrocks. You can just make a general donation, and these get hung on the door out there. You can do both. We would love to have you. Aim to Empower, if you don't know, brings yoga classes out into the community to people who otherwise don't have access, people in need. And quick little last thing, we're going to Italy over the 4th of July. I'll be the teacher taking people. If you want to come along, please ask me questions later. I would love to have you. But otherwise, let's get started. All right, come into child's pose. Toes together, knees open, arms forward, and your forehead to your mat. It is a perfect day outside. It's a great day to have a perfect practice. Start by putting your attention on your breathing. Let yourself have a breath or two to just hear what you hear in your breath. Nothing is wrong or right with it. It just is what it is. And then from there, you start creating and shaping. Start to lengthen, most likely, your exhale. And then start to create it as an ujjayi breath that comes out of the back of your throat, the kind of feeling you feel when you're fogging up a mirror. You may want to take a deep breath in and exhale through your mouth, and you'll feel that sensation in the back of your throat. Keep that when you inhale. And then with the ujjayi breath, it's an inhale, a pause, an exhale, and a pause. Build your ujjayi breath so that you can feel it and hear it, and you even start to hear your neighbor breathing. And then that you're also aware of how your body moves when you breathe, because that's going to be something we put a lot of our intention on as we breathe, as we do class. Next thing is to start matching movement to your breathing. So on your next inhale, bring your body up into downward facing dog. So shape of an upside down letter V. Once you get into this pose, start to make your way into it physically. Bend and straighten your knees. Discover how your body is right now. We were talking before class that this is the part of the day where your body's at its warmest and then most pliable. So start to take up a little more space on the mat as you build your foundation. Feet back a little further, hands and feet a little wider. You won't feel as stable necessarily, but you'll have more freedom. You might want to shake your head out and let your head hang down, or spread your fingers out wide. Once you get your hands and your feet anchored, soften your knees and pull your hips back out of your hands until you make the most length that is possible from your hands all the way up to your hips. Right here, take one more breath in and one more breath out. Then look forward and step up to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, hang down. Keep your breath flowing and set your gaze on one point. With your eyes just set, it draws your attention. You might start to notice that how it puts all of your energy into one space and your attention goes there. Organize your feet so that they're wide and sturdy and parallel. One more breath here. Now press your feet into the mat and begin to roll up. We're not going to go very high. Come up to about halfway, feet open really wide, soften your knees, and just put your hands on your thighs. So you're in like this sumo stance. Then take a deep breath in, blow all the air out through your mouth. We're going to do something a little unique here with your abdominals. It's going to be a deep breath in. You're going to blow all the air out through your mouth, and then on the inhale, like a vacuum, you're going to suck your guts up under your rib cage. Blow all the air out. Without breathing in, suck your guts up under your rib cage. If you feel, you'll feel a really hollow quality there under your ribs. So put your palms under your ribs and then let yourself take breath. So let's try this for a second because we're going to do this a few times. You have a deep layer of abdominal muscles called your transverse abdominal muscles, and they're like a corset that holds your whole body in. And on top of that is like your rectus abdominis and your the muscles in the sides. Put your hands here under your ribs. Take a breath in. Blow all the air out. Breathe in and suck your guts up. And hold your breath. And breathe out. Try it a couple more times. So you're going to have to be round. Your hands can be here to feel it. You breathe in. Blow all the air out. As you breathe in, all of your organs suck up under your rib cage. You'll feel a hollow. You'll be able to feel up under your ribs, and you hold that, and then breathe. You starting to get it? Keep working with it, because we're going to use this a lot, and in time we'll learn to hold one side and then the other side. It's a whole breathing exercise in yoga or in just working out. It has you develop your deep transverse abdominis muscles. Take one more breath in. Blow all the air out. Inhale and suck your guts up. Oh, good. Press your feet down. Come rolling up to standing. Sweep your arms overhead. And bring your hands into prayer position and pause. Now just be still here for a second and set an intention for your practice. I'll let you know, and you probably already noticed, my intention is we're going to get to your really deep core today. 3 times, let's chant Om together. Take a deep breath in. Inhale, reach up, fold to the floor as you exhale. Lift up halfway, high to low plank as you exhale. Inhale, come to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths. Inhale, long, steady exhale. 2 more, breathe in. On the exhale, breathe out. 1 more time, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, and then with no breath, jump to your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway, fold. Extended mountain pose, stand up, reach as high as you can, and then stretch. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Low plank, you can drop right down. Upward facing dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. 3 breaths here. Press your hips back. 2 more. Really drag your hips back. 1 more time, inhale. Get ready to move as you exhale, and then jump. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Extended mountain pose, reach up and stretch. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Halfway lift. Drop to the low plank. Upward facing dog. Shoulders go back. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. 2 more. Last one, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, and jump. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Take your sumo stance, so it's almost chair pose. Make your body round. It won't happen in a flat back. Take a deep breath in. Blow all the air out. On the inhale, suck your guts up under your rib cage. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Step together, reach up, chair pose. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Low plank. Drop right down. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward and lunge. Warrior 1. Back foot flat. Reach up and look up. Hands to the floor. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot. Step and lunge. Deep lunge. Stretch up and go back. Hands to the floor. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Two more here. Inhale. Exhale. Here's the last one. Breathe in. On the exhale, breathe out, look forward, and jump. Halfway lift. forward fold. Make your sumo stance, round your back, inhale, blow all of the air out. On the inhale, suck your guts up under your ribs. You should be able to poke your fingers and feel under there. 5, 4, round back, 3, 2, 1, exhale. Feet together, chair pose, reach up, inhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, drop to the chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward and lunge. Deep, deep lunge. Reach up and stretch. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog, exhale. Step your left foot forward. Deep lunge, stretch the whole right side of your body, stretching. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Let's work together. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. 2 more. Inhale, exhale. Here's the last one. Squeeze the mat on the exhale, bend your knees, jump. Halfway lift, forward fold. Make your sumo round back stance. Take a deep breath in, blow all the air out. On the inhale, suck your guts up. While they're sucked up and you're holding your breath, suck the right side more and then the left side more. Can you feel the difference? Okay, exhale. Step together, chair pose, forward fold. Halfway lift, drop to your low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward. Make this the longest one and a deep lunge. Get the most stretch from your back foot. Hands down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left side, awakening the whole body, movement and breath. Hands down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. As you develop the ability to really strengthen and use your deep transverse abdominal muscles, it helps for the floating in the practice. Take 1 more breath in, and then out, look forward, jump to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Take your sumo stance, make your round back, breathe in, blow all the air out. Inhale, suck your guts up. See if you can go right side more, left side more, right side more, left side more. 1 more time each side. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, reach up, fold to the floor. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward for crescent lunge. So now you'll be on the ball of your back foot and reach your arms up and overhead. So ball of your back foot. Deep, deep lunge. Now pull the pit of your belly up to the ceiling and then hands to prayer position and twist. Left elbow to your right thigh. Keep your breath flowing. Call in and chuck onto the ball of your back foot. From here, you can open your arms, reach the bottom arm to the floor and the top arm to the ceiling. And then you can take your top arm around behind your back, halfway binding the pose. If you've got a strap or your body does it, fully bind the pose. Breathe here for 2 more breaths. Stretch this open. The gaze is more to the upper front right side of the space. Yes, so from heel to the notch of the neck, you're long. 1 more inhale. Stay for the exhale. Crescent lunge. Set your gaze. Body to warrior 2. Keep your gaze steady and your breath steady. And if it does go away, just start again. Build the pose from your feet up. And then lunge down deep. Tilt for extended side angle. Reach for the floor and for the ceiling. David, take a longer stance if you can. Go about a foot longer. From here, you can take your top arm around behind your back. If you're holding a strap in your top arm, or if your arms reach, you can reach underneath your front leg from inside your thigh and hold hands. Bind the pose. If you take the bind, lunge down deep and lift your chest up high. Wherever you are, we're doing 3 more breaths. Kelly, lift your chest. Laura, lunge deeper. Nice. 1 more breath. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. In the down dog, take one deep breath in and a whole breath out. Step your left foot forward for crescent lunge, arms overhead. Keep your breath flowing. So if the breath isn't a contribution from everybody, it's just one person leading the practice or nobody. You'll find again and again that your breath has stopped. It's come out of your ujjayi and you have to start it again. And that's just part of the practice. Now for the last breath, lunge as deep as you can. And as you stretch, see if you can feel your lowest abdominal muscles lifting and stretching. And then hands to prayer and twist. Right elbow to your left knee. Keep your breath flowing. Work together. Isabel, straighten your back leg. Whole body stretching long. And then open your arms. Top arm open, bottom arm to the floor. Reach around behind your back to halfway bind the pose. And then lift your chest. That's it. Powerful back leg. 2 more breaths here. Stay here for the last full breath in, full breath out. Crescent lunge, set your gaze. Try to keep it. Organize your body and warrior 2. So easy to lose your attention and just forget to breathe and look away. See if you can keep your gaze set while you're changing poses. And then without even looking, organize your feet. So the back foot, maybe pick your heel up and slide your heel out. Yep, so you have an inward facing angle. Tilt for extended side angle. That's it. You got it, Abby. Bottom arm to the floor, top arm to the ceiling. Then you can take your top arm around behind your back to halfway bind the pose. If you can reach under your leg and hold hands, do that to fully bind the pose. Then lunge down so deep. That's it. Now lift your chest. Stay in your deep lunge and lift your chest. 2 more breaths here. Stay here for the whole last breath. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, take a breath in. Exhale, look forward, jump to the front of your mat. When you get there, halfway lift, forward fold. Open your feet as wide as your mat and make it parallel to the side edges of your mat. And squat way back, so far back that your rib cage is nestled between your thighs. Maybe your toes are tempted to turn out, but keep the feet parallel. And then reach your arms forward. So you're not even in chair pose. You're in a pose called bear pose. Right here, set your gaze. 1 point on the floor. Nestle your ribs down between your thighs. What will make this pose a little easier is if you have this experience of a tug of war, hips to the back of your mat, fingers to the front of your mat. And then bring your ribs down, lower, and deeper. And breathe. Just let your hips go back. You got it. Now work together. These are going to be the hardest breaths, but the breaths that matter the most. 3 more breaths. Here we go. Breathe in. Stay between your ribs. Breathe out. Hips preach behind you. And breathe out. You got 1 more. Inhale. Stay here. Exhale. Forward fold and hang. Sway from side to side. Put your fingertips on the floor or a block in front of you. Lean more onto your left foot. Right now you can see your toes are in one line. Keep that. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, maybe just shift your weight. Maybe pick your foot up into the air. Not back here. Toes still in one line. It's a whole different set of muscles. And breathe right there. 5 breaths. You got it. Toes a little forward. If your foot's drifting back, bring it forward. 2 more. Don't worry if it doesn't lift. I couldn't lift mine the first time somebody else asked me to do this. 1 more. Shake your hips out. We've got the other side. Now get ready. Fingertips on the floor or the block. Toes in one line. And pick your left toes up. So consider, Colin, bring your toes forward. More forward. Yes. Yes. You'll need to reach from your belly through your hip all the way out to your heel with no stopping of the action. Look as you look out your toes. They should be awake and alive. Can you do that with your toes? And then this is the leg you need when you're pressing into headstands and handstands. You got one more. Energize your leg. Foot on the floor and shake your hips out. Now toe heel your feet out wide. We'll take a goddess squat. So some of you may find you need to lift your heels or sit onto a block. Drop your hips down, not as low as they go. Elbows inside your knees and lift your chest. Yep, stay just up out of your flexibility and breathe here. Really good. While you're breathing here and holding this goddess squat, without rocking back and forth, but leaning. You can lean to one side, really press on the opposite side. You'll feel a little different and more opening. And switch sides, look to the opposite and press more. Come to the center and forward fold. Toe heel your feet back together. Sit back into the chair pose and reach up. Hands to prayer, twist to the right. Anchor your elbow to your right thigh. Now really squat down low and reach your hips back like they're going to sit on a wall or a chair behind you. In this pose, take another breath in to stretch long. Stay here, exhale and twist. Then reach up to chair pose and switch to the other side. Right elbow to your left knee. Breathe right here. Take any furthering of the pose that you find your body is leading you to. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Each inhale, get long. On the exhales, twist. You have one more. Lengthen your spine and twist. Reach up to chair pose and forward fold. Come rolling up to your sumo squat with your round back. Double check yourself. Is your back flat? Not going to work. We need the round body. Take the deep breath in. Blow all the air out. Suck your guts up under your ribs. You should feel hollow, like you're reaching all the way up under into your lungs and your heart. Now hug the right side more and the left side more. And the right side more and the left side more. Breathe out. Roll all the way up to standing. Sweep your arms overhead. Right side eagle pose. Wrap your arms and legs. Right arm under, right leg over. Steady breathing. You got it. So there's a chance to stretch open your upper back by twisting at the elbows, stacking them, and wrapping. And breathing here. Do they stack? Yeah. Let's go like this. Let me take these. Yep. Feel more in your upper back. Keep your arms bound. Unwrap your right leg. Step it back to crescent lunge. Lift the pit of your belly and your chest up and look up. Stay right here and breathe. Now set your gaze, tilt forward, airplane in your legs. You can keep your arms bound. Right here we'll breathe. 2 more breaths. Last breath. Step back to crescent lunge and reach up. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take just 1 breath in, 1 breath out and look forward. Jump up to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Come rolling up to standing and sweep your arms overhead. Left arm under, left leg over, and breathe. Wrap your legs. Steady breathing. Create the stretching across your upper back, stretching across the back of your pelvis. Steady breath and steady gaze. Keep your eyes on one spot. Unwrap your top leg and step back to crescent lunge in your legs. So on the ball of your back toes, lift your bound arms up and your gaze up and go back. I always look for a tug of war in my torso, that my lunge takes me down, and then my lift and look lifts my body up. I feel the stretch in my abs. Step forward, warrior 3 or airplane in your legs. You got it. That's it. Breathe here. Can you lift your back leg and make your back leg long and strong? Step back, reach your arms overhead, crescent lunge. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. A full breath out and look forward. Stepward jump up to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Come rolling up to standing and sweep your arms overhead. Right side standing bow. Hold your ankle from the inside, palm facing out. Left arm in the air. So first get long and lean. Once you've got that, start to tilt, stretch and kick. Keep on breathing all the way up through this right side of your body. You're going to have this chance to make your right side abdominal muscles long and lean. Take yourself into your deepest pose. Be aware of your body able to breathe freely, your belly as it expands and contracts inside of the pose. Take yourself to the deepest, your edge of the pose. One more breath. Step out. Feet on the floor, maybe hands on your hips, and let your whole system settle. Other side. Right arm in the air. Roll your left shoulder back so your palm faces out. Hold your ankle from the inside. Lift the pit of your belly all the way up to your fingertips, so long and lean. And then keep that stretch, and then add to it, stretch forward and back. Always feels like holding back a little bit in the stretch here would be the way to go. And yet, that takes away your ability to hold and balance the pose. So from your center, reach out to the periphery. Let your left shoulder just go. One more time here. Exhale, let your shoulder go. And step out. Feet on the floor. Breathe here. Let's take tree pose. Stand on your left foot. Bring your right foot to your left inner thigh. Hands at first to prayer position. Then reach your arms up and overhead. Stretch as high as you can. You can bring your right palm to your left knee, and your palm can press your knee, and your knee can press your palm. Then stretch up with your left fingertips and up and overhead. You'll definitely want the pressure palm to knee to keep you stable. And right now we're asking for the deep inside of our left abdominals to stretch. Up and overhead, different from sinking and going overhead. It's up and overhead. And then just step out, switch sides. Right foot down, left foot up. At first, get settled with your hands in prayer position. Eyes on one point. The pit of your belly drawing up. For a lot of us, our belly will hang forward and we'll squeeze in our lower back to hold the pose. Then reach your arms overhead, two sides of your body as long as they can be. Keep that. Left palm, press against your left thigh. Then reach your right arm up while your right foot presses down. Then like you're dragging your fingertips across the ceiling, stretch up and overhead. Keep watching for the stretch in the right side of your body. Take 2 more breaths. Last one. And step out. Come to the front of the mat. Inhale and sweep your arms overhead. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward inside of the right hand, and from your feet, build your triangle pose. So a long stance, front foot pointing forward, back foot at an angle. Your right hand on the block or floor. Anchor all 4 corners of your front foot. Keep that. Softness to the back of your knee. Turn and open your body to the left for triangle pose. We're looking for a lot of stretch in your front leg. 2 straight legs. Try to straighten that front one if you can. You got it. Some of you may realize you could have more space between your 2 feet. Draw the pit of your belly in and keep that so the center of the pose is strong. Then with your right hand, move it behind you a few more inches. Keep your belly strong. Then drop your head back. You got it. Open your chest. Maybe you find you've taken up all that space. Move your block behind you a little further. Right back there. Keep your belly strong. Drop your head back more. Strong belly. Drop your head back. Look back. You'll have to trust the pose. All the strength is in your belly here. Come on up to standing. Face the long left side of your mat. Hands on your hips, chest up high, and forward fold. So many choices of what you could do here. I think we were doing this Saturday morning. I think this is a really good choice. Take your hands to the center of the edge of your mat and walk your feet off of your mat onto the floor. So your hands are on the side edge of your mat, your feet are on the floor. When you inhale, you can bend your knees. When you exhale, that same sucking of your guts up into your rib cage you felt in the breathing exercise, suck your guts up, come up onto your tippy toe and into your fingertips. Inhale, lean back. Exhale into your fingertips until you're up on the top of the edge of your toenail. Try that rolling 3 times. See if you can roll through your foot, stand on the edge of your toenails. Keep rolling a little further. So if you're folded in the knuckle of your toes, you're not quite there yet. Think about a ballerina with point shoes on. Yes, some of you are getting it. So you have that stage where if you get onto the top of your big toenails and your feet are on the floor so we have room to slide, you'll inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, lean into your fingertips, roll, and slide the tippy tops of your toes. So I'm not talking about this bottom pad. I'm not talking about your toenail. I'm talking about this top spot of skin. So it's inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, lean, and slide your toes in. Yes, I saw that, Kelly. Try to slide 3 times. Your toes will have to be off of your mat. Slide 2 times. You got it last time. For everyone, come on up to standing. Yeah, you're getting it, Ashley. Come on up to standing. Turn to face the front of your mat. Kneel down on your back knee. Point your right foot straight in front of you. Toes point up to the ceiling. Your blocks could be handy if you have 2. You could have fingertips on the ground. You could stay like this or slide your front foot a little bit further forward. We don't want to have the hips open. We want to keep them square. You might get out here and feel pretty good. You could put a block under this hip for some support. You could slide a little bit further. Just see what your body does. Good. Hanumanasana is the Sanskrit name of the pose. Keep on breathing here. Got a block right there for some support. I know. Awesome, Adam. You got it. Before we leave this, wherever you are, the last couple of breaths, see if you can fold down your front thigh. Mark, you're looking at me like I'm crazy here. Do your split. Yeah, I know you know what this is. Do your split, fold down your front leg. 2 more breaths. Last one. Hands to the floor, step back to downward facing dog. It's so good, isn't it? Take a breath in your down dog. Step your left foot inside of your left hand, a long stride from your feet up, build a triangle pose, 2 straight legs. Back foot angled inward, front foot pointed straight forward. You'll need your block behind your front foot and start to set it up. So some of you probably can take this a little longer. I think you could do a little more length there. Yes. And reach up. You got it, Mark. Just doing triangle right now. Angle at the back foot. Anchor your front foot's big toe down in the mat. The front inside of your heel down into the mat. That's it. Keep all that with your foot. Move your left hand behind you a few inches toward straight behind you to that water bottle. Right here, Chuck. Reach for that. Super strong foot and pit of the belly. Open your chest. Stronger belly. Drop your head back. Look for the post. Yes, behind you. More belly. Open your shoulder. Drop your head back and back. Another breath. Yes, come on up to standing. Turn to face the side of your mat. let's do this again. So you'll want to walk. So if this is my mat, I want to come off of my mat, just like a foot. And then on the edge, I want to put my hands, because my hands are the feet now. You can even turn your toes out a little bit if you really want to. So we did this lift where you learn to make from your core out to your foot a lot of strength. We did the breathing exercise where you sucked up under your ribs and made your body hollow. You can bend your knees and lean back. But then when you exhale, suck your guts up, lean into your fingers, and drag your toes across the floor. You may even find, once you've dragged your toes and all the weight's in your fingers, that you actually can press out into your toes and they come off of the ground just a little bit. Yes, I see a lot of good efforts at this. Drag your toes across the floor, just your toenail. You got it, Adam. It'll be easier if your toes are on the floor and your hands are on the mat. Couple more tries. Your gaze is like right here, not even further forward, because you want this hollow, not flat. Go opposite. There. Feel it? Use that. Calling yes, but flat hands. That's it. Keep on trying. When you lean, this hollow in your rib cage will pull in, slide, and you go there. Feel the difference? Just that little tiny bit. Couple more tries. Slide. Maybe your feet come off the ground a little bit. Okay, come on up to standing. Yes, Kelly! You got it there. Did you feel that? Turn and face the front of the room. Kneel down. Left leg forward. Toes up and stretch. So we need the inner thigh line of the triangle pose. We need the back, hamstrings, back of the knee, calf muscle, all for pressing up. When the flexibility is not there, there's more work to do than needs to be done. Then start to deepen the pose. See if you have access to something a little deeper. A block under your hip can be really good as you get deeper and deeper. Back toes turned under can help you to keep your hips square. Give yourself some breath and some time to just discover what's so in your body today. And then as you get into wherever your body's going with this today, on your next breath, just fold down your thigh. You got it. That's it. Couple more breaths. Last breath. Hands to the floor under your shoulders. Move back into downward facing dog. In your downward dog, just stretch. Whole spine neutral. Then come to the high plank. Lower down to your belly on the mat. You can keep your toes turned under just like they were just now in the push-up. Feet really active. So straight up and down, heels to toes, and legs activated. Then reach around behind your back and at your lower back, interlace your fingers. You could hold a strap too and roll your shoulders back. Now powerful legs. Pull your abdominal muscles up into your body rather than bearing down onto the mat. And then stretch and lift your chest. You got it. So just get up into it and see what you see. Do you feel a clenching and crowding in your lower back? We want a broad quality across the back of the pelvis. Come on down. You can bend your knees and wave your feet side to side. Let's set up a second one. Remember, we're looking for the broad back of the pelvis. You could put your hands in your imaginary back pockets like you do for camel pose. Set your legs up the same push-up way. I know in locust pose, traditionally we point the toes and lift the legs, but 99.9% of us squeeze our lower back, and that's not what we're looking for. So maybe now you have like these little insect wings with your hands on your back pelvis. Before you go up, let your pelvis be as broad as it can be, and you press it broad. Then activate your legs. Activate the pit of your belly. Super strong legs. Open up your chest. It doesn't have to be high. Really, if you anchor your feet, the whole thing is more accessible. You got it, David. That's it. Keep on breathing. See what you see. Hug my ankles just gently. Toes turned under, just like this. You got it. Hug right here. Feet back, chest forward. That's it. Super strong belly. Come on down. Bend your knees and wave your feet from side to side. Floor bow pose. Bend your knees and reach back and hold your ankles from the outside. Roll your shoulders back. You'll want to flex your ankles because when your feet are flexed like that, they'll help you understand where your body is in space. Knees only hip width distance, kick back and kick up. So ideally, you would be able to hug your block between your knees. That is a big distance, isn't it, Isabel? Kick back, let your shoulders go back. Come on down. You can wave your feet from side to side. We'll do a second set. You can hug your block between your knees if you'd like, but bend your knees, reach back and hold your ankles. Resolve once you catch your ankles, so just let your shoulders and arms relax. Now power from your legs. Drive your knees, your shins back and your feet up. You got it. Breathe. Super powerful in your legs. Press up right here. Yep, you got it. Keep on breathing. Now while you're in the pose, become aware of your lower back. If it's crowding at all, suck the pit of your belly up. Did you feel that in your back? So too deep. Come on down. Feet side to side. Hands on the floor, upward facing dog to downward facing dog. You guys not all have straps. Okay. From downward facing dog, put your knees on the floor. Turn your toes under. You might have to lift your knees up to see your toes and just spread them out, all 10 of them on the floor. Once they're spread out, you can then drop your knees down to the mat. Once your knees are on the mat, sit up tall. Only if you feel like your toes are going to snap off, then you can bring your hips up. Otherwise, sit down. Then reach your right arm down your back and your left arm up your back. Hold hands or use a strap to cover the distance. You got it. Toes turned under. Eyes on one point. Anybody needing a strap? If you have to sometimes kneel and then sit back down, you can do that. Once you get the pose all the way set up, yeah, draw the pit of your belly in. Just let that slide up your back. 5 more breaths. Right, here's the space to focus. Pit of your belly in. 3 more. 2 more. This is the most important breath, a long, savored last breath. Full exhale. Release your arms, lean forward. Point your toes behind you and rest the tops of your feet on the mat. Sit back. You may need to keep weight in your hands. You might be able to lean back. You might be able to lift your knees up and stretch the fronts of your ankles and toes. Pick whatever suits your body. Right there and stretch and breathe. Whatever suits where your body is. If it's toes pointed back, leaning back, lifting your knees, stretching the fronts of your ankles. 1 more breath. Put your knees back down gently. Pick your knees up, spread your 10 toes out. We have another side. Put your knees down. So your toes turned under as much as they can be turned under. Then we did right arm overhead the last time. Now it's left arm overhead. You might be holding your strap. Reach up your back and hold the other end of the strap. It may take some belly forward to get your hands together, but once you get your hands together, iron out your torso. This top arm, it's just behind your head. You got it. Then hold torso upright, pick one spot to look at, and steady breathing. Steady, easy breathing. You're right there, Laura. Toes turned under. Maybe only 3 of them are turned under. The other 2 aren't there yet, and that's okay. Can you do 2 more breaths before you go anywhere? Pull last one and release. Point your toes behind you so the tops of your feet are on the mat. Then sit back toward your heels. Again, some of you won't be able to sit the whole way back. That's okay. Maybe you can lean back. Maybe you can pick your knees up and stretch the tops of your feet and toes. Lift up if you can. Doesn't have to lift. Last breath, just a last breath here. Sit your knees down. Bring your hands forward. Downward facing dog. Now try out your feet. Bend and straighten your knees. Wiggle your toes, tippy toe. See what you can see in your feet. So take a breath in and a breath out. Look forward. Jump through your hands. Sit down. Roll onto your back for bridge pose. Feet on the floor, right underneath of your knees. Press down, lift your hips up. So you want your feet hip width distance. Once you get your hips into the air, tuck your shoulders under your body. Then if you can, reach your elbows long and see if the outsides of your fingers can press against the insides of your heels. So you'd be in this position. Upside down. That's it. Put that tension against the insides of your heels if you can reach there. Heels tense against the outsides, against your fingers. Hips up and shoulders back. You got it. So you're turning on your inner lower core. That's it. One more breath. Relieve your hand placement and come on down, knees side to side. So let's go up for the next bridge, all the way up into the bridge. And from this bridge, we'll build into wheel pose. You are welcome to stay on the bridge if that's what's best for you. Once you're up into the bridge, fingers set on the floor underneath of your shoulders. Set them deep and wide. Then press down, rise up. All the way up. Just see what you see here. While you're up here in this pose, get connected to the ball of your big toe, the mat of your big toe, and press it into the mat. And tuck your chin and come on down. Your knees can go side to side. We'll do 2 more. Set up the next one. Bridge pose into wheel pose. Press down and rise up. All the way up. And breathe. Maybe in the pose, take a sigh. And let your body be easy. 1 more. Tuck your chin and come on down. Knees go side to side. Last one. Press down, rise up. Bridge or wheel pose. Press down, rise up. All the way up. Breathe right here. Sometimes I find myself up here and like everything's tense, sort of holding on till it's over. You just let your body be easy for a last breath or 2. Tuck your chin and come on down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Reclined, bound, angle pose. So soles of your feet together, knees open wide. You can rest your hands on your abdomen, your heart, by your side, wherever it's good for you. Then while you're here on your back, stretch your legs out long and wide and your arms wide so you look like a giant X from the ceiling. Now, while you're lying here on your back, take a deep breath in, blow all the air out through your mouth, and when you're doing that, suck the pit of your belly down into your spine and into the mat. Do that a couple times. Inhale, and when you exhale, just suck the pit of your belly, and you might feel your pelvis move into a more neutral position. Now, you feel how much exhale it takes to make your belly sink like that. We're going to need that on every effort here. So arms wide in an X. Breathe in. On the exhale, blow out. Bring your right fingertips to your left toes. So you'll just have to like rise up. And then inhale, open up. Exhale, left fingertips to right toes. And inhale, open up. So every time you exhale, you're bringing an effort. Opening to your X and back up. Inhale on the X, exhale, touch a toe. Inhale on the X, exhale, touch the other toe. Got that? Do 10 of those. So 10, open up. 9, open up. 8, open up. 7, open up. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Hug your knees into your chest. From here, on your back, put your right ankle on your left thigh. Flex your ankle so your legs look like a number 4. Then reach your right hand through the hole your legs have made, your left hand outside of your left leg, fingertips interlaced behind your left thigh or over your left shin. And once you have the grip with your fingers, you can relax your head back. As you peek at your right foot, you should see that your ankle is really active and flexed. You might even find your right elbow can be kind of guiding your right thigh away from you. See what you can see with your body here. Then switch sides. and release. Stretch your whole body long, fingertips overhead, feet away from you, whole body, stretch it long. And then you can roll your feet overhead for plow pose. So if you found that abdominal exercise that we were doing like totally weird and you can't even figure out how to do that, keep practicing that at home. Practice it in front of a mirror where you can see your belly. So roll your shirt up a little bit so you can see your belly. What you should see when you have that suck in of air, you should see that your guts have they've disappeared up under your rib cage. And then you practice and time out holding that for maybe 5 breaths, then 6 or counts, 5 or 6 or even longer counts until you have to suck air again. In time, you'll be able to find yourself making almost like a wave move through your abdomen. Come rolling out of your inversion and hug your knees into your chest. Drop your knees to the left and look to the right. Once you get here, take a breath with a sigh in and out. And then you can switch to the other side. What you started to learn with those wide leg side handstand preps is that same sort of sucking your guts up under your rib cage is the action for dragging your toes, leaning into your fingertips until so much weight is in your toes, so much lift is in the core of your belly, maybe your toes come off the ground. You could practice that at home. Sometimes learning inversions are more easily done when your body's cold and not warmed up and flexible yet. Come to the center, hug your knees into your chest. Even bring your forehead to your knees. Then Supta Baddha Konasana. Somewhere near the right or left side of your head, there's a cold eye towel if you're here in the studio. Mark, hopefully you've prepared yourself with an eye towel at home. Can be the best feeling at the end of a hot practice. Then once you get your eye towel settled, stretch your legs out long and wide to Shavasana. Check your body out the way that you've put it together here. If anything needs rearranging, then do that until you feel like you can just settle your bones into the mat. And then with your eyes closed here and your body at ease, give yourself the opportunity to just be here in your skin, on your mat, in the room, awake and sensing and at ease. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through your mouth. A deep breath in, and this time as you exhale, squeeze your fingers and your toes. Hug your knees into your chest. Roll to your side and bring yourself up into a sitting position. Once you're sitting tall, sweep your arms overhead and then settle your hands into prayer position at the center of your chest and pause right here. And for just a moment, feel what you feel in your body. Set an intention from here for the rest of your day. 3 times we'll chant Om together. Take a deep breath in. Bring your thumb knuckles to your forehead. Take a moment to just reflect and offer your own self some words of gratitude. And then someone in your life, whether they deserve it or not, in your estimation, some words of gratitude. I'm grateful to you being here and letting me do the thing that I love to do the best. So thank you for being here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through your mouth. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for always being willing to be playful. Now, I will be here as I always am Saturday at 7 and 10, but I also have the Sunday 90-minute class this week, so Sunday at 10. So get signed up. Who knows what we'll do. I hope to see you here. Have a great day. Thanks for being here, Mark. Glad you could make it.